This activity is going to go over this sheet that you will have picked up from the table. It's activity 9.5. It goes over the checkbook, register, and bank reconciliation. So we have, we're going to complete this checkbook register. We have all these checks written in here, but we haven't computed a running balance. And then we have a bank reconciliation here that we're going to check what we have against what they have and see if we can reconcile it. You have like a little worksheet right here. So I'm going to work through this with you. So to get started, the first thing I want to do is complete the check register. So again, we've written check number 165, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70. These are covering in the month of December. We have a deposit here. You can see for $285, and then we had a refund for something for $50. Our starting balance, you guys will have to write this in. So the balance forward from like the, like the page. So before they wrote these checks, they had $285 in their checking account. So you want to write that in there because that's what we're going to either subtract payments from or add deposits to complete your balance. So the first check was written to Economy Gas Company for gasoline, and they wrote the check for $18.50. So I'm going to write, this is a payment, so I'm going to subtract it, $18.50. I take that away from $285, and that comes to $266.50. Okay. The next check is $166. It was written to P&D Insurance, and this is for insurance for 6 months. Maybe it's, I don't know, car insurance. That'd be pretty cheap for 6 months, but it was $76. So that is a payment as well. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to subtract $76. So $266.50 minus the $76 leaves us a balance of $190.50. The next transaction recorded is check number 167, the 18th of December. We bought groceries for 2 weeks at XYZ grocery store. It was $101. I so wish we could actually do that many groceries for $101. So again, this is a check we wrote, so it's a payment coming out. So over here, I'm going to subtract this amount because it's a check. So $190.50 minus $101 is $89.50. So that's an 8. Okay. The next check is $168, written on the 19th of December. We wrote a medical bill to County Hospital. This check was for $6.25. So again, this is a payment, so I'm going to subtract it. $16.25. So I'll take $89.50 minus $16.25. That's going to leave me with a balance of $73.25. All right. On the 22nd of December, we made a deposit. So we went to the bank and we deposited a paycheck. So it was $285 paycheck. So this is a deposit. So we're going to add it to our balance. So I'm going to put plus 285. That looks terrible. Okay, so we add this. So the $73.25 plus a check of $285 leaves us with a balance of $358.25. So we added these two together because it was a deposit. The next transaction, we wrote check 169 on the 23rd of December to Joe's service station for a car repair. That's a bummer right before Christmas, right? For $46.24. So this is a payment. So we have to subtract that. So minus $46.24. So $358.25 minus $46.24 leaves us with a balance of $312 and a penny. Next, we paid our phone bill. Again, wouldn't it be nice if phone bills were $11.80? So on December 26th, check number 170. So this is a payment of $11.80. So I'm going to subtract this. So $312.01 minus $11.80 comes to $300.21. The last transaction we have on file here is a deposit. This is in the fund of a refund. Maybe you got money back from something, you returned something to Amazon and they transferred 50 bucks back to you. I don't know. Or maybe you had a check from somebody because you got a refund, you know, for whatever. So it's $50. It is a deposit. So we're going to add $50 to the account. I'm adding 50. So our balance now is $350.21. So that's what we show on our checking account as of December 26th. Okay, so what happens is you'll get a statement from your bank in the mail or an email. So you can see this bank statement has been being sent to Hank and Mary Williams of Eugene, Oregon. This is for month ended December 31st, 2023. And it tells us these are the checks that have cleared. And these are the deposits that they show. And then I have to do a worksheet over here, okay? So I can start right here. So it says write the ending balance as shown on the bank statement. Okay, so our bank statement balance is right here, $357.25. So again, this is the ending balance shown on the bank statement, not ours, the bank statement. So that's right here, $357.25. So I'm gonna write that right here. So right now they show that we have $357.25. We show that we have $350.21. So we have to figure out, okay, what do they have recorded in here that we don't, and what maybe we have showing that they don't, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna say, okay, well, what checks have cleared? Now I will tell you that on bank statements that I receive, it includes the check number as well. On this one, it just shows you the checks that have cleared and then deposits, and it keeps a running balance out here. So the first one, I'm going to look for a check that was written around the 22nd for $18.50. Now this date right here may not be the date that the check was written, because the person who got the check may not have cashed it right away on that. You know, there might be a lag in time. So I'm going to go back up in my checking account. I'm going to look for $18.50. So right here on the 17th, we wrote a check to Economy Gas Company for $18.50. This is where I'm going to put a check mark. This check mark is indicating this check is on the bank statement. Okay. The next check is $76 around the 23rd. So I'm going to go up here and look for a check for $76, which right here, we wrote one on the 18th to P&D Insurance. It took them a few days to cash it. So that one's on the bank statement. So I'll put another check. That means we match with the bank there. Their next check, also on the 23rd, was $101. So up here we have a check also from the 18th for $101 for groceries. So I'll put a check right there. Again, this just shows we match with the bank. The next check the bank shows is the check for $16.25 on the 27th. And I can see right here, that was our hospital bill for $16.25. So that's all the checks that cleared the bank. So we have two checks up here that we wrote, but it's not showing on the statement. Okay, so this check to Joe's service station for $46.24. And then the phone bill for $11.80. So we've written those checks out, but they haven't shown here. So the total of these two checks has to be subtracted from this balance to kind of get us in line. Okay, now down here on the bank, they have $1. This SC is a service charge. So I had mentioned sometimes banks have little fees, and I encourage you to avoid banks that charge them, but this bank has one. So we don't show that service charge up here. So we have to add that back up here to our check register to record that, because we haven't recorded yet. So it's on the 30th of December. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to write 12/30. And I can write out here service, you know, SC if I want to, but this is for a service charge. So I'm going to write right here. Sorry, you can't see that. Service charge or you could write bank service charge, either way. And I'm going to make this for $1. Now it's on the bank statement, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a little check. And I'm going to say, well, this was a payment because the bank, you can see it was subtracted, right? Because the balance here was $358.25. This was charged to us. Our balance went down to $357.25. So I'm going to subtract this out. So minus $1. So now our balance shows as $349.21. So when we're done with this reconciliation, we should show that for the bank too. Okay, so now we work with and say, okay, we're going to add any credits or deposits made that do not appear on the statement. Well, we got to go back first. The deposits shown, they show a deposit for $285. Okay, so we show that deposit right here. We made that on the 22nd. For whatever reason, they don't show it up until the 29th, okay, which is not typical, but you're going to check that one off as well. So that deposit's showing. These two checks and this deposit for $50 are not on the bank statement. So credits or deposits made that do not appear on the statement. Okay, so the only deposit that isn't on here, but is up here, is this one for $50. So I'm going to add this. Okay, so this will be a plus $50. All right, so I have to total on step 3. I'm going to total lines 1 and 2. So I'll take the $357.25 plus the $50. Add those up together. You're going to get $407.25. We still don't balance, but we have outstanding checks, right? So these are checks that have been written but not processed. That will be these two checks. You add those two together. So $46.24 plus $11.80. When you add those two together, you're going to write that amount right here. That comes to $58.04. Okay, so again, these two checks, we know we wrote out of our account, but you know, Joe hasn't cashed this check and the phone company hasn't cashed this check yet. So we have to say, okay, these checks are gone from our account, but the bank doesn't know it yet. So we have to subtract this. Okay. When we do these checks, we actually write them right here. So the check numbers that we haven't cashed were check 169 for Joe, so it'd be $46.24 there. And then check 170 for the $11.80. So you add these two together and put it right here. So the last step on step 5, it says subtract line 4 from line 3. So you're going to take 407.25 minus 58.04. Hopefully that's going to match here. So 407.25 minus 58.04 comes to, lo and behold, okay, so this number matches what I have. So we have reconciled the accounts. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Again, this is activity 9.5, the checkbook, register, and bank reconciliation. So you're going to use this information to fill out the rest of the activity practice. Now you should have a packet that you picked up that looks like this. I'm going to show you if I can. Okay, so on my computer screen, this is your practice. Okay, so on this, you're going to use the information provided below to write out checks and deposit slips, and then record them in the checkbook register and complete the bank reconciliation. So you're going to do everything that we just did. So again, this is Hank and Mary, and you're going to write out the checks and deposits for September. You will not receive any cash back from the deposits. So you have a deposit here. So it says bank deposit. You deposited check ABA 74-2, and then you did a cash deposit on the 28th for $80. So those will both be deposit slips. The rest of them will be checks. So like this check right here, you're going to write September 1st, check number 506, which is written for you, so you don't have to write that out there. but you're going to say that one was made to Walmart for $39.41. It does not tell us any kind of memo, and then you're going to sign it. September 10th is your next check. September 15th is a deposit. So on here, there's a deposit slip right here. So you're going to record that deposit. Now remember, it tells us in the directions, we are not taking any cash back from the deposits. So when you make this deposit slip, there will not be any cash received. So you'll never have to sign that. Okay. Then you'll do the next check, which is, this is tricky. Okay. On September 16th, we used a debit card. Do we write a check if we use a debit card? No, we do not. Now we'll have to record that in our check register that we used a debit card to eat breakfast at IHOP. But the next check we write out will be the 19th, September 19th. So check 508. So that's going to be where you record check 508 for the check to Home Depot. Then you have another deposit of cash. So here you'll just have cash. If it's just cash, you don't have to put the checks. All right. After that, you need to fill out the check register. So you're going to record all those transactions. Check numbers will go here. If it's a deposit, you can put deposit. If you use a debit card, you can put DC for debit card on the item number and the date, but make sure you record that. And we record these in date order. So they should be recorded according to this. So your debit card is going to fall in there on the 16th. Okay. Now I will tell you, let me get to it. I'm going to tell you what the balance should be, okay? The balance in your checking account, when you get to the bottom here, before you add anything to it, should be $1,079.03. Sorry, $1,179.03. So 1179.03. Okay, your starting balance when you do this is given to you. It's $610. So you're going to record each check here. Make sure you put the checks in the payment column and you subtract those from the running balance. Debit cards go under payment as well. You're making a payment. It just doesn't have a check number. Anything that's deposited will be recorded over here and you add that to your balance. But what I'm telling you is once you record all the checks and the deposits and the debit card, your balance should be, again, $1,179.03. That's what you're going to show. Now, you're going to have to, next, you're going to do a reconciliation. So down here it tells you, okay, Hank and Mary Williams Bank, these are the checks that have cleared or debits. And then right here we have a $3 service charge. Remember what you have to do with that. You're being charged that, so that decreases your balance. So you're going to basically look back up in your check register and check off the ones that are showing. And then your deposit, you're going to add back. Well, you're not going to add back. You're going to check that off, right? So then over here, you're going to put the ending balance on the bank statement. So remember, make sure you're looking at the bank statement balance. And then any deposits that are in your register but don't show up here, you'll put here and you'll add lines 1 and 2. Then you're going to list any checks that you have written that don't show up here. You're going to list those here, put the check number and the amount. You add those up together and you're going to write that amount there. So then you're going to take line 3 minus line 4 and you're going to have that number here. Whatever number is here, that should match what you end up with here. Okay? So I want you guys to practice that on your own. Try to get that done for Thursday, and then hopefully I'll be back and we can look that over together. The plan is still to have the quiz on Friday, so work hard on this stuff and get it done. Email me if you have questions. Thanks so much.